Welcome to these times. Welcome. As I merge more fully with what is in front of me, let me connect to the energy that exists around us. So let's talk about the times that you are experiencing here on the planet that you call Earth. Have you noticed that doorways are starting to open up? Have you noticed the multi-dimensional universe that you exist in? Is the veil getting thinner for you? Are your thoughts your thoughts? Or are your thoughts thoughts of others? Welcome to this time on your planet at this moment. Let me talk a little bit about what is happening. What is happening is the vibration of your planet is starting to shift even more. It's starting to rattle a little bit. And what I mean by that is there are aspects or frequencies that are merging with your planet at this particular time that come from, let's say, a different vibration. What does that mean? There is a paradigm that is existing at this time on this planet. What's happening in this paradigm is new Earth is separating from old Earth. There are two dimensions that are starting to pull apart on your planet at this particular time. What's happening with these two dimensions? What's happening at this particular time is the vibration or the frequency of your planet. There are those that are choosing to not step forward in the vibration frequency, the higher vibration frequency, the frequency of the fifth dimensional frequency. So what is happening at this particular time is you're starting to separate. The two Earths are starting to pull apart. Those that are ready to raise their vibration to a higher frequency, who are connected to the all that is, who are connected to their guidance, who knows that there is more to life than, let's say, the illusion you choose to play in. You're more aware that there is purpose for what is happening. There's reason for things to be happening the way that they're happening. And you are following your own internal guidance. You're hearing your guides. There are thoughts that are showing up to you. Let me try to put this into a perspective where you can understand. Some of your lives are falling apart, but are they? What I mean by that is you're being forced to face fears that you were unaware that you were going to have to face. You're being programmed, or you're being taught. It's not really the right terminology. That's the best terminology I can come up with, is your guidance system around you, your angels, your guides, your ETs, I don't care what labels you want to put on, that guidance system that is outside of your physical experience are pushing you in order to expand so you are ready to accept and embrace the new Earth that is coming. You have a thought frequency or a frequency on this planet that is existing right now, and that frequency is about holding things the way they are, the status quo of how life is. It's about being asleep, closing your eyes, doing your job, being that person that you were told you had to be within your family structure. And what's happening is the vibration is shifting and the vibration is changing. And as the vibration is changing, those fake, not real masks that you choose to wear are falling away. You're no longer comfortable in the life that you're in. So in order to push you, your guidance system, your guides that are around you, that's around you to push you forward, is to sort of make your life a little bit uncomfortable. Whether it's your political structure, whether it's your work structure, whether it's your family structure, whether it's your community structure, what's happening is it's about getting you ready to be able to walk among chaos in peace. What does that mean? You're also starting to pick up on the emotions and the thought patterns of the other people. Have you experienced something recently, being human, where these real negative thoughts come out of nowhere? They just completely come out of left field. There's nothing for you to feel that way. And sometimes those thought patterns or those fragment thoughts aren't really your thoughts. They're you picking up on fragments of other people's thoughts. So at this time on this planet, it is very physically uncomfortable. Aches and pains in the body. Some other aspects of what's going on is you're getting prepared and you're getting ready to step more fully into the next step. What does the next step mean? Let's talk a little bit about that. Your planet is awakening, it's evolving, and it is moving forward. And in moving forward, things are not your structures that are put in place, whether it's your banking structure, your financial structure, your society, these structures that are put in place are not real. They're fragmented thoughts of what you as a human ego put in place in order for the ego or the lower self to feel safe. And what's happening is you're already safe. You have an entourage that works with you, that's behind you, that is pushing you forward. They're part of your spiritual makeup. They're part of your spiritual family. You refer to them as guides, archangels, ascended masters, higher beings, higher frequencies, and those are real. Those truly exist. And you are not alone at this particular time of what you're going through in your life. And all you have to do is to ask for help and support in what's happening. So what's happening on this planet, if you notice, your planet is really shaking, rocking, and rolling at this particular time. And what does that mean? It is actually transforming. Your planet is in the process of transforming to the next step. It is evolving to a higher frequency, a higher vibration, where it is starting, there's an aspect of it that is starting to become, I don't want to say invisible, but raising in frequency, because most of the people on this planet at this particular time, I'm going to say more than half of them are really connecting to angels, guides, and spiritual beings. Everyone is starting to awaken at this particular time. There's a smaller percentage that are not, that they're living still in their life, but there's a larger percent that is raising their vibration to a higher frequency. And in raising their vibration to a higher frequency, you all raise Earth up to a higher frequency. You raise the planet up to a higher frequency. There are numerous multidimensional existences on your planet at this time. What does this mean? This means that as some have labeled it, which is probably a good explanation, what's happening is, let's just say that something is vibrating at this frequency, and it's up here, and it's vibrating at this frequency, and you're at this frequency. Okay, so you never really see each other. You both can coexist at the same place at the same time, and the two of you never really meet. Now, this is a whole different reality that is on your planet at this particular time, and they exist here, right now, with you. You are never really alone. So both of your realities are kind of vibrating at this frequency on this planet at this particular time. And then what happens is your frequency starts to raise. And as you start to raise, you start to see aspects of this frequency bleeding through. This other humanity. I'm going to try to put this in words that you can understand. They are other life forms. They are other beings that coexist on this planet with you. And what is happening at this time is as your vibration moves forward, you are going to start to see them. They're going to be like shadows that move that you see out of the corner of your eye. But then all of a sudden, they're going to start to become even clearer to you. And for you to be prepared to receive this or to see this or to merge and coexist with these frequencies, you have to go through a spiritual awakening. That's a terminology. It's kind of like moving from a child, that is a newborn, to 1 year old, to 2 years old, to 3 years old. What's happening is humanity as a whole is evolving. And as humanity evolves and takes these steps forward, you grow up. And what does that mean? Let's just say that you would hear a bump in the night and you used to be afraid of it. And then all of a sudden now you would see a shadow and it would startle you and you would be surprised. And now all of a sudden you go, oh, okay, it's like nothing to you anymore as you start moving forward, as you start to evolve. As you evolve, then you're able to accept more. As you're able to accept more, you're able to have more revealed to you. And that's what's happening on this planet at this time. More is being revealed. What does that mean? What that means is you have your spiritual guides that are working with you, are pushing you forward so you can start interacting with the other frequencies that coexist with you on this planet at this time. You are a very, very unique species. And in being unique is you don't realize you're all of the same organism. You are all one. You are all of humanity. You are all equal. And what's happening at this particular time is some people are waking up to the fact that they're all connected. And, there's enough for everyone to share in. And that as a society, you should all work together and be equals and sharing the resources that coexist on this planet. And what's happening is there's still those that are not awake, don't want to wake up, want to be in the state of lack, not enough. I need to hoard all this for myself because there's not enough for me to share with others. And there is. There's plenty of resources on this planet. There's no reason for people to be hoarding. And what's happening in your society right now is you're evolving to the next level. And if you live in the United States, what is starting to become clear to you at this juncture with this society is you're starting to realize that maybe capitalism doesn't work like it should. And maybe it's not really all about the money, that there are other things that you can strive for and work for as a society. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be without. You have to come from a place of lack. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, capitalism is about as much as you can earn, reap, instead of, now you have this big pile that you could never spend in a million years. And then there's these other groups that are hungry or don't have enough food or don't have the health care that they need. And what's happening as a society is it is awakening people to say there's got to be a better way to do this. And there is. And you're actually evolving and moving forward into that better way of doing things. And that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a power structure on top that dictates what is given out. That's not how it is meant to be. That doesn't work as being equal, because now you still have this power structure on top, and that needs to collapse. It needs to collapse down where people come together and work together for the benefit of all. To be able to reach out and work towards the benefit of all. And that is what is really happening right now in the United States. Now, you may think that it's just you got this and you're looking at your world. Look around. It's what's happening in Europe. It is what's happening in Finland. It is what's happening in Holland. It's what's happening in South America. It's what's happening in Asia. Everything is starting to shift and change. You are not the only one that is feeling this existence moving forward. Everyone is feeling it. Everyone is coming to the realization that there's enough for all, and that we need to be better stewards of the planet that was given to us to live on, or given to you to live on. You are moving forward at this time. We are moving forward at this time. We as a consciousness, as a group consciousness, is moving forward at this time. The guidance that walks with us is helping us make these choices. I hope that this is coming through as clearly as it can at this time. Some of you are starting to feel some broken, I'm going to say some feeling broken in your body. Okay, let me talk a little bit about that. What is actually happening at this particular time in your body? The oxygen level on your planet is shifting. The environment is shifting. There have been some things that have corrupted the environment. And what the organism, the body, is a very powerful thing. And what ends up happening is the body will evolve to handle the changes that have been made to this environment. So what's happening with you when you have these aches, these pains, or your body is going through this transformational period is it is just reshifting, it's realigning to be able to handle some of the toxins that have been put out there in the atmosphere. Life doesn't die, it transforms. Let me say that again so you get this. Life doesn't die, it transforms, which means the body will change in order to continue and process forward. You've gone through evolution on this planet, and in looking at the evolution on this planet, as species die and other become. That doesn't mean that it's not the same frequency. It is the same soul that is being incarnated back into a new species so it can continue to move forward. This can change. And when I say that, pollutants, you see people dying from diseases. You see them dying from what you call cancer or heart disease or, pollutants that are going on in that area. Please, please, please take into consideration. Those that die are transforming. They're also choosing to come back into another life form in order to continue. Life will always be on this planet. It just may be different. You are in a wonderful time. at this time on this planet. You will be evolving and moving forward. And as you evolve and move forward, you may transform into a different form. It will be humanoid. It will be like you are today, just different, to be able to handle any toxins that may have polluted your planet at this particular time. And you have a huge shift that's happening on this planet at this time. I am going to open this. Are there any questions?
We have quite a few questions. So the first one's going to be, are there only two Earths? The old one and then this new frequency?
That's a trick question. The truth of the matter is, what I mean by there's a certain paradigm shift that's happening between the old Earth and the new Earth at this particular time and where it is evolving forward. The truth of the matter is every ley line, every potential future, every potential past is existing at the same time. So there are millions of Earths, if that helps answer that question, if that makes sense. What I'm talking about is there's a major shift at this time frame that's happening. And what's happening is there's an evolution of a new Earth that is rising. And you were part of it, and you were on the planet, and your frequency is rising. And that's why you're going through all these massive changes right now on this planet.
So there's a secondary part to that question.
Okay.
For all of those that are embracing the new Earth, will they end up together in the awareness of the new Earth?
Yes. Yes. And part of what's happening on your planet at this time is just because some people are not waking up doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be pulling them up with you. So if you have friends that may not see things the same way that you see, don't underestimate the power of them waking up. Everyone has an opportunity to wake up and advance forward. Does that make sense?
So our next question is going to be, do you feel like we're growing closer together as a planet or further apart with these new vibrations on Earth?
I feel that humanity is growing closer together. What we sense is all of you are very, very, very much alike. There are some aspects, let me put it a little bit, I want to try to put this differently. That person that's in fear, okay, vibrates at the same level you do when you're at fear. Okay, so what's happening at this particular time is you have people that are vibrating at unconditional love or being awoken, or they're awake and they're learning how to walk through chaos with peace. And sometimes you look at yourself and go, how is that even possible? But you are understanding the higher purpose of spirituality. So that's what's happening. Your reflection, okay, the reflection that you see that may be very negative, keep in mind they're living at a state of intense fear. And when a human is at that intense fear, all this, what we may call ugliness, bubbles to the surface. Keep in mind that someone needs to be at that place of intense fear for a period of time until they hit that point of surrender to what is. Everyone, every human being at some point of their life through their process of evolving forward have had what some have labeled like, a dark night of the soul, like you're crying hysterically and you're not sure what's going on and you're at this total place of fear, and then you surrender and then you let go. And when you let go of all those judgments and all those things that you think are so wrong. When you let that go, you evolve. So I feel your species is really very much alike. You're just at different vibrations at this time. I hope that makes sense to you. Remember when people are fighting at their hardest, okay? They're trying to hold on to what is, but that comes right before surrender and being awoke and waking up and releasing and letting go those judgments.
Yeah, that makes sense. So are our guides helping, assisting, and accelerating the crumbling of the illusions around us?
Yes. What's happening right now is your guides are really pushing you. You may be sleeping, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden you're being awoken. Like something you have to do right away, or you have to learn this right away, or you have to, do this. And it's kind of like they're pushing you forward. They're saying, now is the time for you to wake up and take these steps forward. Do it now. Have you felt that sense of having to do something now?
Yeah. I think we all have.
That's actually the guides that are pushing you forward.
That makes sense. So for our next question, how do we ask our guides for more support? Sometimes she feels like she is talking to herself. Is there a way to know it's them helping?
Yes. Okay. I'm getting some information about this. Will never put you in harm's way. If the guidance puts you in harm's way, that is your lower self tricking you. A guide's voice will talk about now, the present moment, being here now. Do this now. Read this book. Open this email. It would almost feel like you're being pushed, led. It almost feels like it is a feeling that someone has their hand on your back and they're pushing you forward. Your lower self, the lower voice, will be talking about past or future, not now. Past or future, not the present moment. See how the energy feels with it. Notice when you get those aha moments, do you get the hair that stands in the back of your neck, or just this overwhelmed feeling of bliss, unconditional love leading you forward? That is the voice of your guidance, your guides. A voice that you feel like you're told and you go, well, maybe I should do that. And all of a sudden you have this apprehension. And when you get that apprehension, you shake that off and you go, no, that's my lower self trying to be negative to stop me from doing what my guidance wants me to do. Notice what I'm saying. Your apprehension is telling you to get clearer information. How do you get clearer information? You ask for a sign to appear outside of yourself. Let me be clear about this. You ask your guides to give you a sign that you have a feeling that you should take a psychic development class. And then all of a sudden, wait. Don't just go and start researching and looking at for psychic development classes. Just wait. Be still and ask your guides to bring the information to you. And what will happen is, out of the clear blue of you not trying to do anything, someone will pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, I'm going to this psychic development class. Would you like to go with me? That's outside of you. That is your guides guiding you. And it happens all the time. And you don't ask for enough help. You never ask for enough help from your guidance. Ask them for a parking space. If you have a problem, turn it over to them and let them solve it for you. Let the information come to you. Don't go get it. It's that simple.
She says, thank you, Joy, and that it made perfect sense and that it helped her a lot. What is a good way to clean house when you're feeling too overwhelmed energetically?
We're going to do a meditation. I want you to sit in your seat and I want you to put your hands on your lap in the open position to receive. That would be up like this. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to see a white light coming in through your crown chakra as it passes your third eye, through the throat, into the heart, solar plex, sacral, root, as it passes down your legs, through the bottom of your feet, into the center of the earth. Ask your guides to step forward. Ask them to follow that white path of light that is in your energy field and to remove all energy that doesn't suit your higher purpose. See as your guides are cleaning house. See as they're taking some of that energy that's in your heart chakra and they're just sweeping it out. And your solar plex, where you got into a power struggle with someone and you just weren't your will center and you just weren't ready to let it go. And see it as it sweeps that down. And your sacral, which is your creative energy side, for all the times that you stifled yourself or any time that someone has betrayed you. And watch as that energy is swept out. In your root chakra, those times that you just didn't think you had enough money, didn't think that you had enough to survive, didn't think that you could make it, and see as your guides sweep that energy out. All that energy is now being pulled out of your energy field, down, down, down into the center of the earth. As it goes to the center of the earth will clear it, cleanse it, and bring it to where it was meant to be. And then what I want you to do is see Archangel Michael step forward. Archangel Michael is standing in front of you, and Archangel Raphael is standing behind you. Archangel Michael is taking his sword of truth, and he's going, as you're watching him, he's literally cutting all cords in your energy field. See as he cuts away all those cords of people that are attached to you that don't serve your higher purpose. See him as he cuts the cords around your head, down your arms, down your legs, on the back. And as he cuts these cords, see as they fade away, they fly away, they're no longer connected to you. But it has left these little holes in your aura field. And because these holes remain in your aura field, Archangel Raphael steps forward. And Archangel Raphael takes his hand and he places it over these holes. And see as he sends energy from his hands into those holes and makes your aura whole again. He moves from one to the other. See him moving as he circles, his palm is circling, and that green healing energy comes out of the palm of his hands as it seals the aura field. See him sealing all those holes in your aura field. Feel as those holes are being sealed, how more whole and complete you feel. Feel as your power is stronger. You feel stronger. You feel more powerful. And as they're sealed, Archangel Raphael completes as he steps over your crown chakra and he places his hands and he sends green healing energy all around your aura field, cleaning away anything that's been left, sending it away to where it came from. And now you feel whole and complete. So you want to take that energy that's in the center of the earth, you want to pull it back up through your feet. It's been white and purified through your legs, root chakra, sacral, solar plex, heart, throat, third eye, through your crown chakra to the center of the universe, and bring that energy from the center of the universe back down and pull it through your crown chakra and let it just be placed in your solar plex, in your will center. So you will know your power and you will remain strong in any situation that comes forward. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes.
So we have one last question. Are there enough of us walking forward right now? If you turn on the news, it looks like everybody's taking a huge step backwards. And is it possible to be held back by those people? How do we move forward and rise above it?
No one has control over you. And what happens is when you see what you view as negative, and I'm not saying it doesn't feel like it's negative or it doesn't look like it's negative, but what happens is if it pulls you to the place of fear, it makes that stronger. So what I would recommend that you do is, yes, it feels like you're moving backwards. You're really not. You're the same society that was here, 8 years ago. You're the same. It's just a political structure that no longer suits the higher purposes of everyone, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's actually evolving and it's moving forward. If you really want to peel away at the layers, you have people that are running for office that would have never dreamt about running for office in a million years. But they're saying, it's my turn. I am going to step forward because I want to do something that's different. I want this to be a society that comes from the people, of the people. So they're stepping forward and they're running. They would have never dreamt about running before. These are not politicians that are running. These are people that are deciding to run, and it was never something that they seek to do. And they are not in the pockets, I'm going to say, of the elite. They're running because they want to do it for the people. They believe in the core of the society in the United States. They believe in that core, which is your Constitution, okay? It's your Bill of Rights. It says a government of the people and for the people. That is why they are choosing to run at this time. If you really want to look, kind of take a step back and look at your political structure. Let's go back 20 years. And when you turn around and go back and look at it 20 years ago, it wasn't for the people. It was always for a certain group of people that they got involved with, that put them in the office. It wasn't really for the people 20 years ago. So what's happening is Spirit is allowing you to see what really exists. Most of society was asleep 20 years ago. And it's, oh, politics is politics. I don't care what's going on over there. I'm just going to sit here and, I'm going to do my job, do what it is that I do. I'm not even worried about it. It's, let them do whatever it is that they want to do. And I'll just focus on my life. Well, what happened was you had some changes where you needed to pay attention. You needed to wake up. You needed to participate in what you want your planet to be. And sitting on the sidelines is not a way to do it. So Spirit has made things that have always existed be visible. Let me say that again. Spirit has made what always existed be visible where everyone can see it. Your internet, your ability to connect, to organize. I mean, if you want to really want to think about it, your technology has given you the ability to be able to organize and move forward. Now you've learned, what has been brought to your attention. What your technology was used to move forward can also be used by those that want to manipulate. But didn't take you 20 years to figure it out. It took you a year. So nothing on your planet can remain hidden. We are in a time of, I want to say, no past karma. What does that mean when I say no past karma? When 2012 happened, any past lives that you had, your karmic debt, your card was stamped. Clear, no more karma. Okay, anything that happened in past lives has been cleared, and that's what 2012 was all about. So what is happening now? What you're getting is karma created now. Let me say that again so it's a little clearer. What people are creating in their life, they will receive the consequences in the life. So whatever people are creating today, in this lifetime, will be taken care of in this lifetime. It may not feel like that, but that is a true statement. Even if you look at what your technology does today, if someone has done something wrong, whether it's a police officer, whether it's a member of a rally that does something, or whatever is being done is so visible with your society today that it's being brought to the forefront where everyone can see that. Now, I want to say something a little different about that, because what hasn't evolved in your society is allowing people to make mistakes, evolve, and change their perspectives. And what I mean by that is, if someone makes a decision and they just happen to be in a bad mood at that particular time and they just made the wrong choice at that time, as a loving society, it's about evolving and allowing human beings to be human beings and allowing them to make the mistakes that they make as long as they learn and evolve from that. So what's happening at this time is some people are losing their jobs right away and no one's going to give them a second chance. That's not how you evolve as a society. You evolve as a society is the consequences for the action. If someone has done something and they have suffered the consequences for the action, karmically, okay, and they have had loss, it's about them going within, accepting what has happened, changing, and then when they come back, don't hold them accountable 10 years for something that they did 10 years ago. That's not really moving forward. However, they also need to be conscious enough to ask for forgiveness for what they've done and to really mean it. Energetically, you're going to be able to feel the difference. Does that make sense? And does anyone have questions about that?
We have one question about that. Is there a way we can forgive ourselves for past karmic debt, even if we've paid it? How can we let it go?
Your ego is what holds you in place. Your lower self is what holds you in place. We have no judgment of any action that happened on this planet. From a higher perspective, when we look at it, there is really no bad and there is really no good. I'm going to say that again. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the president of the United States. I don't care who is doing what. From our perspective, there is no good and there is no bad. So what does that mean? There just is. So when a decision is made and you feel bad about something that you've done in the past and you've addressed it and you've healed it to the best of your ability, the only person that's holding on to it is you. It's just about whenever those thoughts come into your head, say, I have dealt with that. I have let that go. I can't change what I can't change. I want to say that again. Put it into some perspective for yourself. If a thought comes into your head, look at it and say, is there anything I can do to change this? And if it happened in the past, there's nothing you can do to change it. So just let it be. Let it go. Move forward and just don't make the same choice again. But don't beat yourself up about it. Learn how to love yourself, please. We love you. Learn how to love yourself. God loves you. You are God. You are an aspect of God. You are not alone. And they are always in your corner, no matter what you do. Your guides are in your corner. It doesn't matter what you've done. They're still there. They're there to help and guide you.
That was our last question.
That was our last question. Okay. So what I'm going to finish with, and then we'll go ahead and we'll end this shortly. Remember, please remember, you are God. The aspect of you, your soul aspect, is God. You have a higher self that is up with God at this particular time. That aspect of your higher self loves you completely. So, love yourself and love your fellow man. Learn how to love the unlovable. Let me say that again, because that's a hard one for some people to swallow. When you send love to someone who isn't coming from their higher perspective or their higher self, when you learn how to send love to them, you have the power to change the situation. What holds a situation in place is this tug of war that happens back and forth. You are on one aspect of it, they are on the other aspect of it, and you're going into this tug of war. When you learn to drop that rope, let that rope go, and say, I'm judging this. What can I do to stop judging it? And then turn to your inner guidance, turn to your guides that are in front of you or that are with you, and you say, you know what? I don't want to judge this anymore. I don't need to be right in this situation. I can let this go. Now, I want to be a little bit clearer with you. When I say you're letting it go, that doesn't mean that you get to be the doormat for someone. Because what I see you doing is sometimes you say, oh, I'm supposed to let it go spiritually, so it's okay for this person to do this to me. No. What I'm saying when I say let it go, don't get in that tug of war of judgment. Say, I'm in judgment about this. I need some help to let this go. But there's nothing wrong with you saying, no, I choose to not participate with this at this moment. Let me say that again. You can say no and be a loving person. You can say no because it's not something that suits your higher purpose. So if you are in a tug of war with someone, you can love them from a distance. You don't have to really have them in your day-to-day life. So if there is someone that you find that may be a bit toxic and it is not suiting your higher purpose, love them from a distance. Learn how to be with them and then learn how to sever those cords. What do I mean? What I mean is I would like to see if for some reason you're in, sometimes it's difficult. We have toxic relationships with our parents, our children, our coworkers, our bosses. So what do you want to do when you go into that situation? If you are going into work and you have a toxic relationship with your boss, are you driving into work saying, he's going to pick on me, he's going to say this, he's not going to like what I'm doing, he's not going to like, is this the conversation, the mind talk that you have as you're driving into work? You are creating your reality. What do I mean by that? You are projecting that into the future. So when you get into work, that's what's going to be there for you. So let's do some reprogramming. This is your homework. Your homework is when you're driving into work, whether it's a coworker or it's your boss, and that mind talk starts, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do this. Push that to the side and say, today is going to be a wonderful day. I am going to be appreciated for what it is, and scream it. I am going to be appreciated for what I do. I am going to get noticed for all the hard work that I do. Do this. I'm going to ask you to try this every day for a week and notice how you feel when you get into work and notice how things change. I am always here if you have any questions. Feel free to contact me. It has been my absolute pleasure. I hope that you have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.